Howdy everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to price your items when you can't find the right price on Backpack.Tf. But before I get started, if you're brand new to this channel, then go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for more future videos coming up soon. Also be sure to follow my YouTube channel, as well as my Twitter and Instagram accounts in case if you all want any further details about upcoming videos as well as projects that are to come. But with all that said, let's get started with the video. It has come to my personal experience that a lot of traders have come across items that do not have a price on Backpack.Tf. These items tend to be skins, unique festivized weapons, or potentially unusuals. And of course you even come across high-end professional killstreak weapons that won't even have a price on them. So I wanted to break down this video into 4 parts that will help guide you into getting a basic idea of how you can price check your items without Backpack.Tf suggestions. So for the first part of this video, we're going to have to do some calculations. So hopefully you brought yourself a calculator because we're going to do some math. As far as I remember being an old trader back in the old days, I remember that there used to be a lot of people that would price check their painted cosmetics or potentially their strange weapons with a strange part attached to them in a specific way. So how am I to price check an item if it's painted, but Backpack.Tf isn't really telling me what to do? Well, go ahead and grab that calculator I told you to get earlier, and we're going to find the price of this item in my inventory, which is the Bolt Boy. The original base price of this item as of today is worth roughly 8.55 refined metal. Now this is important guys, I really want you to remember that price of 8.55 refined metal. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the paint that's applied to it, which is Indubitably Green. When we search up this paint, the price will give us approximately 19.22 refined metal due to the lowest seller on Backpack.Tf. Luckily for you guys, these are all the numbers that you're going to need for this quick formula. Now that we've gathered our prices, I want you guys to put this down on your calculator. Go ahead and take the price of 19.22 refined metal, which is your green paint, and multiply that by 25% or 0.25 if you want to be more technical. Once you multiply 19.22 by 25%, you'll get a number that's 4.805. What I want you to do with this number is I want you to add it up by 8.55, which again is that price of the Bolt Boy. When you add the price of 4.805 by 8.55, you get 13.55, which is the new price of your painted item, or in this case, that Bolt Boy that I have. Now let's see the difference between Backpack.Tf's suggestion and our calculation. As you can see, Backpack.Tf is giving us a price of 11.97 refined metal. The difference between these two prices is only 1.58 refined metal. So we can see that our confidence in our price is nearly identical to the suggestion that Backpack.Tf is giving us. This is a really great technique to use whenever Backpack.Tf is not giving you a price of a brand new cosmetic that has just been recently released and you wanted to apply paint on it and then you just wanted to resell it. Hopefully this all sounds something very similar to what I talked about in a previous video, which I called depreciation. If you haven't seen my video on depreciation, then I'll go ahead and link that into the description below for you guys to watch after this video. But now we're going to go on to our second part, which is using the Steam community market for reference prices. In the first part of the video, we had it much easier since we had Backpack.Tf giving us a suggested value. Now we are going to see how we price skinned weapons. Most skinned weapons don't really have any value in the Backpack.Tf suggestions list. Most skinned weapons do not have any sort of value that appears on the Backpack.Tf side, except for some assassin, elite tiers, or wares such as factory new. I don't necessarily have a proper example for this one, but we're going to use one of my festivized untradeable weapons, which doesn't have a price, but we can still find a price for it. Now this is going to be a real mouthful, but what we're going to use is my strange festivized Dress to Kill sticky bomb launcher, Battle Scarred. Now as you can see here, it's not really giving us a price, but that's mainly because it's untradeable. However, as we know from trading, most skinned weapons aren't going to give us a suggested value on Backpack.Tf. Even more so, if we wanted to see the classifieds and who is selling what, we're going to be shocked to realize that hardly to no one is really even selling any skinned items. Fortunately for us, this is where the Steam community market comes in. When we open up the Steam community market and search up my item, we see some statistics. Now, the bad news is that there's not enough evidence, But the good news is that we do have an idea of the sale history for this item. Our essential goal is not to find and use this exact price that the Steam Community Market is giving us, but it's to give us a rough idea of what we could calculate our price. We have some history reports that show one was sold for $3.97 and another one was sold for $1.14. There is a huge difference in the supply and demand, where demand is extremely low due to the history and the extensive length that the item's been selling, as well as the supply being high because of the excessive amount of skinned weapons. So your goal is to try to figure out, based on the sales of this history, what is someone currently selling at and what the buy orders are at, for you to determine the best price that is for your item. You can also use the same methodology for Marketplace.Tf. They both apply. In fact, Marketplace might sometimes even be much better to use than the Steam Community Market, or vice versa. The Steam Community Market might be much better to use than Marketplace.Tf. A lot of it depends on how you use your sources correctly and accurately. Now, this is great and all, but what happens if I have an expensive unusual with a very nice effect? I can't use the Steam Community Market since you can sell any unusual without the care of the unusual effect. You can, of course, use Marketplace.Tf, but what happens if there are no sale records of your unusual? This is where we get into the third part of this video, and that is basing your opinion on what is called the naive approach and irregular variation. To give you a quick idea of what the naive approach is, according to my notes, it is the simplest method to assume that whatever happened this time period will happen in the next time period. And you're probably asking yourself, well, Sky High Kev, what does that even mean? I don't even know what that could even possibly mean. Well, what this approach is trying to tell you is that when you use it, you are able to accurately predict 70% of the time the item that you paid for it will resell for that same exact price. Or maybe not really 70% of the time, but it's roughly around that percentage. You have to keep these mental notes in mind that you are the person that bought the item from that person, and it is up to you to try to figure out, okay, what could I do to resell this item for a little more than what I got it for? The best example I can give you guys is predicting the weather. Now, you can't assume or say that I know for sure what the weather is going to be tomorrow. You can only predict what the weather could be, and if it's sunny, then maybe you're going to say, I think it's going to be sunny tomorrow, and you'll be 70% correct of the time. I also talked about an idea called seasonal variation, where specific unusuals will have specific effects on them, and sometimes those effects are Halloween effects or Christmas effects. What seasonal variation is trying to tell you is the patterns of change in the time series within a year, which these patterns tend to repeat themselves each year. If I haven't confused you guys enough already, then by golly, I'm doing my job correct. But to break down seasonal variation, what this is when it hits Christmas or Halloween, and Christmas keys go on sale, many of those people will want to buy the new Christmas keys to unbox a new crate. Once people buy new keys, new unusuals are unboxed, and these new unusuals become the god tier unusuals for a short period of time, and then they'll lower down. Another concept of seasonal variation is whenever you see games go on sale during the Christmas holidays or the Halloween holidays. If you take, for example, the regular Manco supplied crate key, you'll observe that there is a seasonal variation between the key sales, because when you look at specific dates like November or December, or even during the summer days where Steam has sales, keys will lower in price significantly. And that's because people are trying to sell their keys so that way they can buy brand new video games that are on sale. But what happens when those sales end? Well, as you can see, the keys market will go slightly back up in the community market. And this exact same logic is also applied for items that are Halloween spelled, because people will want to buy Halloween spelled items during Halloween or Christmas items during Christmas. But I talked earlier about a scenario where someone unboxes a brand new unusual with a brand new effect. A lot of these points may or may not apply to this scenario. As of this point, you are in a vulnerable spot with sharks and scammers, but at an advantage for selling your item. So what do you do in this situation? For the last part of the video, we are fortunate enough to have experienced traders that use similar logic of basing the price of a similar item to how we utilize the Steam Community Market. Similar to the naive approach and the seasonal variation as well as our reference pricing, a lot of these experienced traders can take these into account and quickly identify what is the best case scenario to sell your unusual item that has a really rare effect and that has a really rare look to it. A lot of these people will try to determine the unusual effect based on its rarity, how the cosmetic looks, and how well that effect has sold. There is a bit more complex math involved, but to put it as simple as possible, they are using trends of the unusual and its effects. All of these parts have tied together to come down to this one difficult part. In the video, a lot of Tf2 traders will use these seasonal variations, different trends. They will use Marketplace.Tf to base the items of the effects that have been sold and the overall general opinion of everyone's idea of that unusual. You could even say that people are giving you an appraisal for your unusual. You will have experts like Pyro Joe or Spiky Mikey that will give you these appraisals, or random people that may have experience in TF2 trading or may just be trying to shark you. But it all boils down to you using all these 4 parts, and to simply say it, asking an opinion from someone. Besides unusuals, you can always ask an opinion of someone from the community or average traders, and they'll give you an idea of what they think that price might be. It may not be an inaccurate price, or it could be an accurate price. You don't know, you're just trying to gather as much information as you can. Once you gather all this research, then it's up to your discretion of how you should sell your item. Don't ever feel like you're forced into trying to sell an item that someone tells you that is much lower than what you think. If you're confident from even opinions that people give you, then that may be all the information that you need to sell your item. Who knows, maybe you need to raise your price, or maybe you need to lower your price. You have to gauge that equilibrium to set, so that way you can make sure that you are gaining a profit from the item that you bought and then the item that you resell. And that there, everyone, is an idea of how you can price check your item without using Backpack.Tf. I hope you learned and enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. Also, as a reminder, don't forget to also follow my social media accounts. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, y'all.